Proposition 8, if you vote yes, says that they will amend the California Constitution to discriminate against homosexual couples and not allow them the right to marriage, which the California Supreme Court has given them. If you vote no, then you say, no, we shouldn't amend the Constitution, and gay couples should be allowed to marry, as the California Supreme Court has ruled. Savage apparently has strong opinions on this. I'm sure you're shocked. Let's listen in.
Now, in the state of California, which leads both for the good and the bad in many ways politically, there's a ballot initiative on homosexual marriage that is more important than you could imagine. It's called Proposition 8, and you must vote yes if you're sane. If you're insane, hate the family, hate man and woman, hate your mother and father, hate the Bible, hate the church, and hate the synagogue, of course you're in favor of no on Proposition 8, which is where most of the Democrat politicians are, because they are exactly what you think they are. What it is that a family man knows that life is filled with briars and stones and this and that, and that the people who don't have families don't understand that as difficult as family life is impossible without it.
Yes, yes.
They don't understand that. They don't understand what the family unit is. It's the strongest bond on earth, which is why homosexual marriage is such a threat to civilization itself.
You know, I've always, sort of mocked this idea that gay marriage is a threat to straight marriage, but, Michael Savage whose real name is Michael Weiner. So a guy that changes his name from Weiner to Savage, maybe it is a threat to his marriage. Seriously.
No, but think about that. Wait, I want to.
But that's his problem. That's not the people's problem.
No, I want to expand upon that because we've talked about this in the past. Michael Savage wrote a book that was semi-autobiographical. He calls it fiction, right? But it was an autobiography, basically. It's a guy who does a talk show, who was an herbalist, et cetera, right? It's exactly his life story. And he said that he struggled with his desires for men, and that at night he would stay up and wrestle with himself underneath the decks of this rocky ship with how much he loved men and how much he wanted them, but he couldn't, but he had to help himself, and that he couldn't do this, right? Now, so that's why you're exactly right, RJ.
I didn't know that.
He is struggling inside his own marriage with his desires for men. And he thinks, if they allow this thing, I can't help myself. I'm going to just give up and stop the wrestling with myself and start wrestling with other men.
Well, look, I'm sorry he's suffering. I really am. That's a shame. But, the end of civilization itself. The amazing thing about these Prop 8 advocates is that gay marriage has been legal for going on a year now, and nothing's happened.
Yeah, wait, how come civilization didn't end? Michael, what happened?
I mean...
Wow, that's kind of weird. It's almost as if Michael Savage is wrong. Now, here's a sensible ad on Prop 8.
It wasn't that long ago that discrimination was legal in California. Japanese Americans were confined in internment camps. Armenians couldn't buy a house in the Central Valley. Latinos and African Americans were told who they could and could not marry. It was a sorry time in our history. Today, the sponsors of Prop 8 want to eliminate fundamental rights. We have an obligation to pass along to our children a more tolerant, more decent society. Vote no on Prop 8. It's unfair and it's wrong.
All right, there's a couple of things I love about that ad. Armenians couldn't buy property in the valley?
I didn't know that. Yeah, when was that?
Right, but they got beyond that.
Definitely. Okay. Armenians own the valley.
But you know what? Those guys might have been right in the beginning. They're like, if we let these guys in, they're going to take over. And they did.
That was a definite strike back.
That was a strike back by the Armenians. Like,
I didn't even know about that.
You don't think we could buy property in the valley? That's what you think? How about we buy the motherfucking valley and see how you like them apples? Reseda!
No, not Reseda. Glendale.
Glendale, totally. What are you talking about? All right, so that's funny. Number two, did you notice the couple that they featured there, the black-white couple there? Loving couple, okay? They are the ones that the Supreme Court ruled on their case. They were from California and overturned the laws that said that a black man and a white woman or a white woman and a black man couldn't get married, right? And that, you know when that was? That was about, I think last year we celebrated the 40th anniversary of that. So think about that for a second. It was only 40 years ago that the races couldn't marry one another in many states in this country. Only 40 years ago.
It's insane.
And a lot of those people are still alive, and they're all voting for John McCain. Okay, so you got to get out there and fight the good fight, and these fights don't get won unless somebody brings them up. And you know, I think the woman in that relationship was the one that was named Loving, and she said, "Look, I'm not a political person in the 40th anniversary." She's like, "I still honestly don't care that much about politics, but when someone you love is challenged and they say you can't celebrate your love, etc., like everybody else can, you got to do something about it, you know." And we stood up, and that's the reason that I love that ad, because it connects all of those other discriminations to discrimination against gays. And that's what I've been saying on the show how many times now. We all gotta stay together here. Remember what was done to us, to all of us, okay, even to the Armenians. Okay, and you well, yeah. So there was another valley that the Armenians weren't allowed in. So there a lot of things have gone wrong for the Armenians. But anyway, and we gotta stick together here, like we do with the Young Turks. And in this case, it's our gay brothers and sisters, and we gotta fight for them. And that's why if you're in California, I don't care about Obama and McCain. Yeah, you think Obama might win, but there are important things at stake. So go vote against Prop 8. Okay.